Khalil Mack could be making his way back to the silver and black. And today, I'll break down my top free agent targets for the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into it. First things first, could we really see a Khalil Mack reunion in Las Vegas? Imagine him back in the silver and black, finishing his career where it all started. That would be something special. Now, I'm not just saying this for the hype. I've talked about this before, and when I was asked about Mack coming back, I was all for it. And now, according to Forever Football, it looks like there's actually a chance. They're reporting that veteran linebacker Khalil Mack is set to hit free agency and might consider returning to the Raiders. Let's be real, some of Mack's best years were with the Raiders. Teaming up with Max Crosby could be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Reading this report got me thinking, man, remember how devastating it was when the Raiders traded Mack away? And what makes it worse? The 2 first-round picks we got for him aren't even on the team anymore. That trade feels like a complete waste now. I know some of you might be saying, Mack is past his prime. We don't need him. But even now, he's still one of the top pass rushers in the league. Just last season in 2024. Ironically, that same year, the Raiders drafted Max Crosby, who has now become the face of the defense. Imagine bringing Mack back and pairing him with Crosby. That would be one of the best pass-rushing duos the Raiders have had in years. Let's be honest, Max has never had a truly elite edge rusher alongside him. Yannick Ngakoue, solid. Chandler Jones had his moments before things went south. Malcolm Kunsey showed flashes at the end of last season, but Khalil Mack would be the best pass rusher Crosby has ever played with. He could take some of the pressure off Max and give this defense a serious boost. Now, I know there were retirement rumors after Mack's last game with the Chargers, but according to Adam Schefter, Mack will play in 2025. His contract is up and he's set to be an unrestricted free agent. And let's be real, he's not staying with the Chargers. This could be the perfect chance for him to come back home and finish his career where it all started. At this stage in his career, Mack won't demand top dollar. Last season, he made $9 million, and while he'll still want a solid deal, the Raiders could afford him. A contract in the $10 million range seems reasonable. So Raider Nation, what do you think? Should we bring Khalil Mack back to the silver and black? If Khalil Mack is willing to sign a team-friendly deal or even something around $20 million, I think the Raiders should meet him halfway. Maybe $15 million would be the sweet spot. That way, we could also try to bring back Malcolm Kuntz on a 1-year prove-it deal. He could learn a lot from Mack, but that depends on how much we're willing to spend. If we give Mack a big contract, that might not happen. Now, let's address the big question. Is it worth bringing Mack back at 34 years old? My answer? Absolutely. And I'll be honest, part of that is emotional. Mack was the first player I ever covered as a Raiders YouTuber. That 2014 draft class was the first time I really got into making videos. Mack wasn't just another player. He was the first true franchise icon on defense that I watched, talked about, and covered again and again. Then, when he got traded to the Bears, it felt like a gut punch. So yeah, I've got some bias as a Raiders fan. But that's not the only reason I want him back. Mack can still play. Even at this stage in his career, he could be a valuable veteran pass rusher alongside Max Crosby. And with Christian Wilkins already here and possibly more talent coming to the defensive line, imagine how dangerous this unit could be. So why not? Why not bring Mack back? Having him finish his career where it all started would be poetic. But that's just my take. Raider Nation, what do you think? Should the Raiders bring Khalil Mack back if he's interested? Let me know in the comments. Now, Khalil Mack is definitely my top free agent target for the Raiders. But let's talk about a few more names the team should seriously consider bringing to Las Vegas. 1. Byron Murphy, cornerback. With Nate Hobbs hitting free agency and the Raiders having money to spend, they need to upgrade the secondary. Luckily, there are plenty of solid cornerbacks available, and Byron Murphy could be the perfect fit. NFL analyst Matt Bowen even linked Murphy to the Raiders, saying, The Raiders need more ball hawks in the secondary and could lose Trayvon Moehrig, Marcus Epps, and Nate Hobbs in free agency. Murphy's 6 interceptions last season tied for third most in the NFL, and he has 14 career picks. With the ability to play both outside and in the slot, he brings the vision and speed to make an impact in Vegas. Last season, the Raiders' defense managed just 10 interceptions, so adding Murphy's playmaking ability would be a huge upgrade. He's a versatile and underrated corner, coming off a Pro Bowl caliber season, and could help transform the secondary. Even with Murphy on board, I still think the Raiders should draft another young corner to add depth. Imagine if they land Will Johnson in the draft and sign Murphy. Suddenly, the cornerback room looks stacked. And with Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham coaching them up, that's a dangerous secondary in the making. Looking at the offense. Switching to the offensive side, there's another major position the Raiders must address too. Justin Fields, quarterback. There's no secret. The Raiders need a quarterback in both free agency and the draft. I've talked about Russell Wilson and even the wild possibility of Aaron Rodgers, both of whom could be cheap veteran bridge QBs. But if I were the Raiders GM and had full control, my top target would be Justin Fields. No doubt about it. Here's why. He's 3 years younger than Sam Darnold. He's more affordable than other free agent QBs. He has a higher ceiling and can be a long-term solution. He fits Chip Kelly's system perfectly, a dual-threat quarterback who plays safe football and limits turnovers. In 2024, despite playing in only 10 games, he still managed to checkmark 1,116 passing yards, checkmark 5 passing touchdowns, to only 1 interception checkmark, 289 rushing yards with 5 rushing touchdowns. Sure, Fields isn't known as a pure pocket passer, but in the right system, his dual-threat ability can be dangerous. And here's the best part. The Raiders could still draft a quarterback, let him develop behind Fields, and build for the future. This move just makes sense. 3. Trey Smith, offensive guard. Now, moving to the offensive line, there's one player the Raiders must go all in on: Trey Smith. The Chiefs have a tough decision to make. Do they tag Smith or let him hit the open market? If they let him walk, which I think they will, Las Vegas needs to strike fast. Why? He's the best guard in free agency. He fills a massive need on the offensive line. Signing him weakens Kansas City, a double win. The Raiders have plenty of cap space and can easily afford his $19 million plus salary. If Vegas wants to build a true contender, solidifying the O-line is priority number 1, and Trey Smith is the best way to do that. 4th, Dre Greenlaw, linebacker. Now, if the Raiders truly want to build a championship-level defense, they should take a serious look at Dre Greenlaw. Yes, I know, injury history is a concern. But here's what makes him worth the risk. Only 27 years old. One of the best linebackers when healthy, a clear upgrade over Robert Spillane and Divine Diablo-Strong in both coverage and run defense. If Las Vegas brings back Spillane, pairing him with Greenlaw would be a huge boost for the linebacker unit. And the best part? Because of his injury history, the Raiders could get him on a team-friendly deal, a true steal if he stays healthy. If Greenlaw demands top dollar, then maybe we pass. But if the price is right, this move could be one of the best of the offseason. Final thoughts. Your turn, Raider Nation. That wraps up my top free agent targets for Las Vegas. But now I want to hear from you. If you were the GM today, who's your number 1 free agent target? Which player do you think the Raiders must sign this offseason? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.